like and subscribe. What do you think about breastfeeding in public? Her own choice. If people don't like it, then they can off. People get offended by everything these days. There's nothing sexual about a woman feeding her child. It should be normalized, and spaces should be created, like they do in Japan. I believe they have little spaces with individual rooms, where mothers can breastfeed their child peacefully. I don't see an issue with feeding a baby in public, with a bottle or a boob. I'm overall much more chill about it than I'm about grown adults eating in public, and making gross wet crunchy chewing noises, and leaving a mess. I'll tell you that much. I think it's fine and good and normal, and I think that, if I were ever in the position to need to stand up for someone who was breastfeeding a child, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I had the cutest thing ever, while feeding my baby in public. A little 2-year-old boy walks up to me, and points at his mouth, to indicate he too was hungry. I thought it was hilarious. His mother was embarrassed. Honestly, that's the only time anyone has ever taken notice or cared. It seems to be normalized, so I like to keep it that way. I never see it happening. If I did, I might take a second look, because it is so uncommon in my life, but once I realized what was happening I would not give a single I would not do it, but I don't mind seeing women do it via just feeding their baby. I was like you, before I had my baby. Then, once I had her, it is remarkable how few F*** s I give who is watching. If she is hungry I will feed her, be it on a park bench on the busiest day. It is only weird, if the kid is school aged. I once saw a lady breastfeeding her 7-year-old. I am a woman and that creeped me out decent. I breastfed in public and the only comments I ever got from anyone were positive. And I tried to use a cover for a while, but my kid would just kick it off. Start squirting milk into the coffee of the person at the table next to you, and you may have a problem, though. Same here. Those covers cumbersome, hot and babies hate them. I used one for baby 1, and gave up with baby 2. The best comment I got was when I was feeding at a Target Starbucks area. Some nice lady bought me an iced tea to thank me for setting an example for new moms who may be timid about it. Honestly, on a personal level, it totally disgusts me. I actually cannot even think about it too much without starting to vomit, unfortunately. I obviously leave, or at the very least avert my eyes, when I see people breastfeeding in person. But you know what? That is a me problem, 100%. Parents need to feed their babies, and they have a moral right to do so in whatever way is safe, healthy, and comfortable for them and the baby. Of course I support people who choose to breastfeed in public. And I would never ask someone who is breastfeeding to modify their behavior on account of my discomfort. I cannot help the feelings of disgust breastfeeding inspires in me, but I can control how I react to those feelings. She needs to feed her baby. If a public place doesn't offer her a space to do it privately, they shouldn't be able to complain when she does it in public. Also, for a society that values motherhood so much, we really are hellbent on making it as difficult as possible. Just let her feed her baby in peace. I don't have an issue with it personally, but I wish the US had better options for breastfeeding women that need to feed or pump. Often the only place women can go for privacy is a bathroom stall that is often unclean. I don't have an issue with it. Baby has to eat. I feel anyone who has a problem with it is free to look away or stay the home. Super unpopular opinion here, but it makes me uncomfortable. I admittedly don't have the mom gene. I'm uncomfortable around children in general. That being said, I just don't stare at it if I see it, and I certainly would never say anything. I understand it's just a mama feeding her baby, but for whatever reason it makes me uncomfortable. I feel so guilty for my answer, because it makes me uneasy. And I wish it didn't. I get it, it is normal, it is natural and should be treated as such. But that is always the second thought that comes to my mind. The first is how uncomfortable it makes me, for no other reason than because I was molested as a child and that is the main body part one remember him touching, so I have a huge complex with my breasts. With an eye on us breasts, to be honest. It should be regarded as completely normal and respected, I agree, and I work hard to fight through my own insecurities, to regard it as such. I hate that my trauma blocks me from seeing it as beautiful. If it helps at all, I think that a lot of people would probably agree that you don't have to find it beautiful or like it. What counts is that you're not one of the people flipping out because a woman doesn't want to sit in the bathroom to feed her baby. D://sexualized/withhoutd/concent. That's my opinion. If someone starts harassing a mother for feeding her child just because she used her boob, they're the problem. It's just a body part. I did it with my kids, no problems ever. Perfectly acceptable. Baby's gotta eat. The mom has the right to do so, wherever/whenever she needs. As a mom who has been there, done that, got the saggy tits to prove it whatever dude. Feed your kid. Better than listening to them scream. Nothing. It's perfectly normal and fine. If the baby is hungry, the baby needs to eat. Such a weird thing we have sexualized women so much we forget our very own nature as humans. If you have a problem with someone breastfeeding in public, then you are sexualizing women. End of story. My baby exclusively breastfed for 6 months, then continued to breastfeed for quite a while after that. It would have been incredibly inconvenient for me to have hidden away every time she got hungry. I admire the hell out of it. Breastfeeding is difficult. I only wish I had been able to hang in long enough to become a pro like the women who can be in public. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. Don't feel bad about it. Doesn't really affect me, except that I vastly prefer it to hearing the baby crying because of a hunger meltdown. It makes me uncomfortable, but I deal with it. It's totally normal. Bodies are natural. People shouldn't make a big deal about it. I think every mom should do what is best for her and her baby, and whatever they're most comfortable with. Everyone else should just be respectful and mind their own business. Don't see anything wrong with it, but I have zero patience for people who create a scene over a woman breastfeeding. ****, I totally support women's rights to breastfeed their babies in whatever place and manner they need or want to. However, for deeply personal reasons it makes me really uncomfortable. I will remove myself gracefully and silently. Please don't be rude to someone who chooses to move. You don't know what people are going through. As someone who breastfed for 2 years, people should give breastfeeding mothers a break. It is hard and the last thing we need is someone being gross about us just feeding our child. I did it with both my boys. If you don't wanna see it, don't look. I have seriously considered sitting in front of a Victoria's Secret and doing it, because Lico vertical bar water is behind me as Fino vertical bar, but me showing much less is not okay because I am probably going to get dogpiled on for this, but whatever. Obviously a woman has the right to feed her baby anywhere without being sexualized. Personally, it makes me uncomfortable, as I am tocophobic, and I am just aware that it is not really a pleasant sensation. It makes me cringe in the same way as seeing someone in a really claustrophobic space does, kind of like second-hand discomfort I guess. However, my feelings on it don't matter and I know they don't. It is not like it is hurting me, or anyone else. I am not comfortable being around babies either, but it is not like I am going to ask someone to not bring their baby in public lol. I can just move, or look away and shut up. It is not that hard. And besides, I'd rather be near a breastfeeding mom her baby than near a mom and her crying baby. Not my baby, not my titty, none of my business. Baby has to eat. Does not matter if you are in public or not. I don't have an issue with it, it's just a natural and very common way to feed a baby. I really fail to understand why some sexualize it, or perceive it as offensive / indecent. I don't even know why this is a topic of discussion. It's literally a baby having a meal. That's it. We need to encourage women to breastfeed in public, if they feel comfortable with it. Society has sexualized breasts so much that society generally fails to see them as mammary glands designed to nurture our babies. People, usually, are happy to see breasts / nipples in movies, beach, TV shows, magazines / books. Let's be honest, we've all seen more breast on show with celebrities than we actually need to, but a woman feeding her child in public is offensive. In Australia, we have really great parenting rooms, where women ban breastfeed with privacy, if they choose to, but other countries, that I have traveled to don't often have them. Women are told to breastfeed / pump in a toilet, yet no one else eats in the toilet, and if you're pumping to feed via a bottle etc., you need ready access to hand washing facilities etc., as well as a clean area to place the milk, while you're packing everything up, not a toilet. Generally speaking, there is very little breast tissue on show when you're feeding, as a child's head covers it, and once breastfeeding is established, the child can attach itself, so it is very simple. I remember breastfeeding my infant, she must have been about 6 weeks old, in the middle of the mall, while the eldest child had a haircut. The hairdresser thought I was cuddling her. Breasts make milk, their organ design and theory sexual organ secondary. We need to destigmatize breastfeeding in public. I think a lot of baby / family stuff is better accommodated in Australia and New Zealand than in America. I personally feel uncomfortable seeing uncovered breastfeeding in public, but it's not like I'd ever say anything about it. I do wish there were more feeding rooms and booths, but there aren't, and babies have to eat. I just don't like seeing shirtless or exposed people in general though. You've been visited by the ghost of a very important man. Pay your respects by liking and subscribing, and he'll grant you 3 weeks of good luck.